A Calgary family waiting nearly 60 years for closure.
I can't imagine the kind of shock that would come after this long.
New details emerge about a Calgary woman murdered in Las Vegas and the links to the mob. Preparing for a change of conditions.
We do anticipate that the winter weather is coming.
The city says crews are ready for the upcoming snow season. And two homegrown talents take the fashion and beauty worlds by storm.
Having it being shot in Calgary as well has been, just super, super cool.
The Calgary creative shining a spotlight on the city.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Terry Fikowski.
Good evening. New details emerging about a cold case of a missing and murdered Calgary woman in Las Vegas is finally bringing closure to her family. Police say a DNA swab from her sister helped identify the woman, but her connection to the mob is what got her killed. Tyson Fedor reports.
It's been nearly 6 decades since family heard from Anna Sylvia Just. The last clue about her whereabouts came in 1968 when the 29-year-old's personal belongings, such as her passport, plane tickets, suitcase, and bloodied clothes, were found in a Nevada desert.
Finding those type of items were indicative of foul play.
Just was reported missing in Calgary in 1966. Las Vegas police reached out to family when her possessions were discovered, but she was nowhere to be found. When unidentified human remains were found in the same desert in June 1970, no connection was ever made. Until last September, when Calgary investigators reopened her case. Her sister, who still lives in Calgary, provided a DNA sample to police. And last month, Las Vegas investigators made the link.
Unfortunately, again, technology plays a part with DNA not being a factor in there. In 1970, the connection just wasn't made. That was two years later after the belongings were found.
And Calgary police say her family is feeling a sense of relief.
The fact when we first reached out to collect her DNA, maybe some renewed hope from her. So she's 97 years old right now. I can't imagine the kind of shock that would come after this long.
Las Vegas Metro Police say the motive behind her murder was a money dispute.
Anna was wanting her money back, basically, and things went south from there.
Initial reports said Just did know notorious mob associate Tom Hanley.
Tom Hanley and his crew, for lack of better terms, yes, they were involved in the death and disappearance of Anna Just.
He killed people, he firebombed businesses, he beat people up. This was kind of his stock and trade. At that time, late 60s, he was probably a suspect in every murder that occurred in Las Vegas.
Hanley died in prison in 1979. The Mob Museum in Las Vegas says Hanley was not a mobster, but he was a very violent man.
It's definitely the MO of Tom Hanley. He has 2 other cases where he buried a murder victim in the desert.
Las Vegas police say the case is now closed with no one alive to charge.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
In a statement, the family says it has been decades of heartache and tears for Just parents, sisters, and brothers who always wondered what happened to her. They now know where she was killed, but say the mystery still remains around exactly why. Calling her Sylvia, the family says she was loved and to this day is missed. A violent fight between 2 brothers has left one of them in life-threatening condition in hospital. It happened this afternoon at a home in the southwest community of Glenmorgan. Police say because the boys are youths and being treated as a domestic incident, the identities of those involved are protected. It also means details will remain limited. In Lethbridge, a 12-year-old boy charged with the attempted murder of his 7-year-old brother will remain in custody for at least another 2 weeks. The accused, who cannot be identified under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, was in court today. He's been in custody since his arrest in August. Investigators say the older boy told officers that an unknown man came into the home and stabbed his brother before running away. Matthew DeGroot is seeking more freedoms. He was found not criminally responsible for stabbing 5 people to death at a house party in Brentwood in 2014. His psychiatrist says he is a low level to reoffend and is ready for relaxed rules to make it easier to visit his sister in BC. The argument was made at an annual hearing before Alberta's Criminal Code Review Board, which will make its decision at a later date. Police are investigating after a man was attacked outside his home in the Northeast earlier this morning. It happened around 7:40 on Templeview Drive. Police say a man in his 50s was outside when he was assaulted by two men with bear spray and a blunt object. He was taken to hospital in stable condition. Police say the victim did not know the men in their late 30s or 40s and currently have no suspects in custody. Additional charges have been laid against a former Calgary police officer. In August, Constable Bradley Tepper was accused of stealing from hardware stores in the Calgary area. Investigators say 2 additional charges have been laid following similar incidents in Okotoks and Red Deer. It's alleged the fraud and thefts happened over a 1-year period and more than $10,000 worth of items were stolen. The 52-year-old has already been relieved from duty. And police are trying to identify a suspect after a theft and vandalism at St. Mary's University. Around 3 a.m. on November 3rd, someone removed a corner portion of a bronze religious sculpture on campus. It caused significant damage to the artwork, which is valued around $30,000. Police have released a picture of a vehicle they believe the suspect was driving. It's a Nissan Rogue with the Alberta license plate CGT 4176. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. The Transportation Safety Board is investigating after a plane crash at the Medicine Hat Regional Airport today. Emergency crews were called for a small private plane on the runway around 2:30 in the afternoon. Police say 2 people were on board, including the pilot, but nobody was hurt. No other details have been released while the Transportation Safety Board investigates. Danielle, it's kind of the perfect storm, or lack of a better word.
Setup?
Exactly, especially if you're a skier boarder, because it's calm, warm in the city.
Yeah.
But out in the mountains, snow.
Yeah, snow, and lots more snow on the way. Snowfall warnings in place for higher elevations, not Banff town site, but you know, higher elevations. For ski hills, it's fantastic. For us in the city, this is what we're looking at tomorrow instead. Warm and windy, so 40 to 50 kilometer per hour gusts, especially in the afternoon, but that will carry us up to 15 degrees. I mean, we'll get a little taste of winter in the city by Friday. I'll show you that coming up.
Thanks, Danielle. Despite the mild November, the city is encouraging everyone to be ready for winter. The city is preparing its fleet of plows and sanders and making sure they are fully staffed. Once snow does arrive, drivers are reminded to keep an eye out for crews and slow down when passing.
Please just give them lots of room to work. There's signage on their trucks. They're well lit up. They're very visible. But please just be mindful. No passing sanders. Keep well back from sanders and let them do their work.
For drivers, winter tires, snow brushes, and emergency kits are recommended as we head toward winter weather. A warning for our next story. Some of the images are disturbing. Calgarians living in Riverbend want to see changes after 2 deer have become impaled on a fence just over 2 weeks. Now, this was a week ago when a deer tried to jump the fence but became impaled at Carburn Park. We're not going to show you any more of the video, but the animal was there for more than an hour. Neighbors spotted the injured deer and called Fish and Wildlife, but they couldn't respond. An hour later, Calgary police showed up and euthanized the animal. The fence separates the park from vacant lots slated for development.
It is completely senseless and entirely preventable. This fence doesn't have to be here in the way it is. It could be easily modified. I believe it should be taken down. Like I said, it doesn't keep anything in and it doesn't keep anything out.
The company that owns the vacant lot says it's open to looking for solutions for a safer fence, but it cannot be removed because it's the boundary between private and public land. JEC Enterprises says construction will start in the coming months and it mitigates wildlife traffic through the area. The Douglas Fir Trail is a favorite spot for many in Calgary, a hidden gem in southwest of the city on the south bank of the Bow River. But for the last 2 years, a portion of the trail has been closed. The city shut it down because there's a section that is constantly washed out and unsafe. Hikers are worried, though, that the city is going to shut the trail down for good. The city has completed a risk assessment of the area and is now looking at next steps for the project.
So we want to build the trail to a higher standard. So currently what we're trying to do is to get some funding, do the detail design, get some input from the interest groups, interested parties, and then design the trail and build it to a longer design life.
The city says it's a challenging site to work on and want to make sure it's accessible for all hikers, not just avid trail users. The Prime Minister is set to announce his highly anticipated list of nation-building projects tomorrow, but we have a preview tonight. Some of the major projects greenlit is coming up.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
We won't hear official word until tomorrow, but CTV News already has a sense of what Ottawa will unveil in the second phase of new nation-building projects. 4 have so far been greenlit, though here in Alberta, we'll have to wait longer to hear the fate of a pipeline to the BC coast. Tim Brooke explains.
CTV News has learned some of the plans included on Ottawa's second list of major projects. Sources say a liquefied natural gas project in BC, a hydroelectric development in Nunavut, and mines in New Brunswick and Northern Ontario will all soon be greenlit for faster development.
50% of global nickel comes from Indonesia. The Chinese own 75% of those mines. We have to disrupt their stranglehold of the supply chain.
But out west, questions still remain about the fate of a pipeline to the coast.
We've heard a lot from the federal government, I would say, in terms of, nice sentiments around bringing investment back. We haven't seen that happen yet.
We do know the Premier is in daily negotiations with Ottawa and still hopeful a memorandum of understanding will be ready, as promised, by Grey Cup Sunday. The feds will only say to be patient.
And there's a lot of conversations occurring right now. Our climate ambitions remain, but pragmatism is the name of the game.
Some are sick of waiting.
There's not a single project that he has launched that was not already in the making or approved before he took office.
The Prime Minister will unveil the full list in BC Thursday. A third batch of projects is expected in the coming months. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Danielle Smith is scheduled to meet with media in Calgary tomorrow. Alberta's municipalities want the province to take over collecting the education portion of property taxes. That is one resolution at the Alberta Municipalities Convention, which kicked off in Calgary today. Currently, municipalities bear the financial responsibility to remit education property taxes to the provincial government. This year, that cost the City of Calgary $10 million, which it invoiced to the Alberta government. Many residents also don't realize their property tax includes the province's education tax.
The vast majority of the increase the Calgarians have faced in recent years have been increases from the provincial government. Yet the Calgarian taxpayer and voter has been frustrated with the local city hall, right? So I would strongly support any kind of measures that make the collection of those taxes more transparent.
The province says this is the way it has been for decades, but added it is considering what role a new provincial tax collection agency could play in shifting the collection of property taxes to the province. Another vacant office building downtown Calgary is being converted into affordable housing. Federal and city leaders were on hand for this morning's announcement at 800 6th Avenue Southwest. 204 rental units will be built at an $83 million price tag. 3/4 of that comes from the federal government, with $15 million coming from the city. The building also includes commercial and retail, as well as a counseling service provider, Caria. Residents are expected to move in sometime late next year. The Calgary Construction Association launched a new app tonight focused on mental health in the industry.
Male in particular in the construction industry in North America is 4 to 5 times more likely to die by suicide than other industries. And so what that created for us was this motivation. How do we find solutions that can begin to chip away at that problem and reverse that trend?
Headversity, the workforce resilience app, is designed to raise awareness about drug addictions and wellness. The idea is meant to make mental health education and crisis supports available in workers' hands 24/7. A launch event was held tonight at Platform Calgary for the app. Well, if you missed it last night, you still have a good chance of catching the Northern Lights tonight. Danielle is back after the break with your full forecast. Stay with us.
All right, today the story in Calgary was calm winds and lower temperatures. We were around normal for this time of year with our high of 5. Tomorrow it will be much gustier and much warmer. We'll get to tomorrow in just a second, but comparing us to the rest of the country today with regards to daytime highs, it was 9 in Victoria and Vancouver, 6 in Edmonton, 7 in Regina, and all the way off to the east, St. John's, Newfoundland, one of the hot spots in the country, got up to 13 degrees today. All right, Chinook Arch that built its way in, this will all intensify as the winds intensify tomorrow. For Calgary, we're looking at 40 to 50 kilometer per hour gusts. South of the city, though, is going to be very gusty. So Lethbridge looking at 70 kilometer per hour gusts, Medicine Hat 60, Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass 80, maybe even 90, especially closer to Waterton Lakes National Park. 90 kilometer per hour gusts certainly possible. All right, as we look forward to tomorrow, basically to Thursday and through Friday, late Thursday, Friday, the snow will start to build into the mountains. So this is where we'll see it earlier and it will intensify. Banff up to Jasper, these areas, especially Highway 93, under a snowfall warning because of this. 15 to 30 centimeters of snow possible for the higher elevations. Banff town site likely just seeing a couple centimeters from this, but higher than that. Yes, a good snowfall is on the way. Good for the ski hills. We're going to get a little taste of winter in the city. So let's fast forward to Thursday, late Thursday. This is Thursday night, a shot of 11:30 p.m. We'll kick things off with rainfall in the far south, Lethbridge. We may even start with a little bit of rainfall Thursday night in the city as well. And then this will quickly switch over to snow. We're not looking at huge amounts in the city from this. We're looking at a couple centimeters possible, and just for the morning hours. So overnight into Friday morning. And then that will slump down to the south and move into the far south for Friday afternoon. When we see total amounts, likely 1 to 2 centimeters is what you can expect. High River, Okotoks, Calgary, maybe 2 to 3. Airdrie over to Cochrane. This is a bad reading here on this model. So this is where we actually have the snowfall warning in place. Again, higher elevations. Outside of Banff and Jasper, up to 30 centimeters is possible. Looking at the longer range forecast for the city, gusts 40 to 50 kilometers per hour in the afternoon, a high of 15. That's a toasty day tomorrow. Friday, snowfall in the morning and just a high of 2. But we bounce back to 9 with partly cloudy skies for the weekend. Well, it's a big day. CTV's annual Toy Mountain campaign is back, and this year marks our 12th year in support of Fear is Not Love. With your help, we've raised more than $7.3 million worth of donations to date. CEO of Fear is Not Love, Kim Roos, says donations collected from this campaign go towards helping victims flee domestic violence throughout the entire year.
I can hardly believe that it's been 12 years that we've been doing this campaign. I'm incredibly grateful to CTV and all the sponsors and all of the Calgarians that are supporting this campaign and that allow us to do the work that we do all year round.
So if you want to contribute, your donations of new, unwrapped toys and essential items can be dropped off at any of our locations. And for a full list or to make cash donation, visit ctvcalgary.ca.
Thanks, Danielle. It is shaping up to be another great night to see the Northern Lights. This after last night's spectacular show of the Aurora Borealis across North America. With more, here's Amanda Anderson.
Streaks of bright green and red lit up the night sky Tuesday, a display of the Aurora Borealis unlike anything some have seen before.
These ones weren't really moving the same way, but a beautiful color. A little bit of green mixed in, but not too much movement. So pretty though.
The show, the result of the sun releasing 2 bursts of electrically charged particles, which then hit the Earth's magnetic field.
Just the sheer volume, the energy that basically was absorbed by the Earth's atmospheric gases, that gave us that red that we saw. The green is a little bit lower down in the Earth's atmosphere.
Many people shared photos, captivated by the abundance of red in the sky.
Heard all about it, saw so many pictures, and I went outside and there were none.
Frank Florian says there's a reason some may not have seen the red in all its glory.
You look up there and you don't see anything, but a camera, the sensors on your camera are very sensitive to the broad spectrum of light, and they'll be able to pick up that red, which the human eye can't.
Northern Lights may be nice to look at, but the combination of electrically charged particles and the magnetic field field can wreak havoc here on Earth.
In 1989, I believe, in March, there was a huge auroral display that also blew out one of the generators for Quebec Hydro, costing billions of dollars to repair. So it affects everything from phone transmission. So if your cell phones were acting up yesterday, you may have that may have been associated with this event as well.
EPCOR tells CTV News it hasn't had any issues so far, but solar storms can affect equipment or cause voltage fluctuations. That's why it increases monitoring and takes proactive steps to protect the grid when geomagnetic activity is detected. Florian says the sun goes through an 11-year solar cycle, which right now is at its max.
So in about 6 years' time, you may not see much of anything of the aurora, maybe a few nights here and there, but not as much as we see right now.
The northern lights are expected to return.
I'm going to get my phone out tonight instead and try and look at them.
Tonight's display predicted to be even more energetic and chaotic than last. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
So cool. Well, coming up from Cowtown to couture, we're going to introduce you to the top model and celebrity makeup artist elevating Calgary's fashion and beauty profile. Calgary is quickly gaining a global reputation for fashion and beauty. That's thanks to two Calgarians who have broken into the industry in a big way, and each makes sure the city and region is woven into their work. Alicia Fieldberg explains.
Introducing his makeup in the mall where he spent most weekends as a teen is a full circle moment for Hung Van Gogh.
Calgary is home for me. I brought up here and having my own brand that sells Sephora and even carry in my own hometown. It's pretty surreal. I know it sounds silly, I'm crying, but it is emotional for me.
It's a long way from where he started.
My family and I, we escaped Vietnam to refugee camp, and then we came here after.
His career began at a Calgary hair salon before he switched to makeup, becoming coveted by A-listers and now launching his own line across Canada and the United States.
Never dreamed to work with celebrity. I have my own brand.
An inspiring story for Calgarians who lined up to meet him.
I've always wanted to be a celebrity makeup artist, so we know it's possible.
Always happy to see a Calgarian make it big.
Another Calgarian making it big in fashion is Awar Odiung. The model was featured in September's U.S. Vogue, along with her family at a photo shoot in Kananaskis.
It is the most difficult publication in the world to get into, so for her to have a single girl story and with her family is unbelievable.
Having Canada being put on the map by Vogue has been so cool, and I'm glad that me and my family as immigrants, as refugees, were able to represent Canada.
Odiung was a toddler when her family came to Canada as refugees from South Sudan in 2002. Years later, she was folding clothes at Old Navy when she was approached to model, and her career has taken off.
I've been able to take care of my family, myself, my friends.
Whether showcasing high fashion in the Canadian Rockies or naming a lipstick after Calgary's area code, both Awar and Hung are proud to have the spotlight on Alberta and hope their stories encourage others.
There's no limitation to your dreams.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
I've got to check out the 403. Now, Hung now lives in Toronto, but returns to Calgary often to visit family. And we have more details on both of these artists up on our CTV Calgary website. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.